Modern bikers are just posers. Let's get into this one. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, modern bikers are just posers. Now, I said in a previous video that poser is not a word that I would use. However, I think it's more of an Americanism when we're talking about motorcycling posers. Modern riders, the old school guys, they know best. All this modern motorcycling, it's all just posing around. It's not real biking, not real traditional values. How many times have you heard this? How many times have you heard people talk about, the doctors and the dentists getting into motorcycling, the rich urban riders that they would say in the United States, right? Well, just because you speak in a certain way or you earn a certain amount of money doesn't make you any less of a biker for me. So I'm not sure how that weighs up. But I think the general feeling is that people have got into motorcycling that don't have the same connection with it as maybe other people did of the past. Maybe there are different values in many motorcyclists these days that those of the past just don't have, in terms of the kinds of bikes that they would ride, in terms of the age of bikes that they ride, maybe in being able to work on your bikes by yourself, maybe just the general cleanliness, whatever it is. There's something that maybe old school bikers or bikers of the past would kind of, they would just kind of roll their eyes in disbelief of what modern bikers would do and how they act. So the term motorcycle poser kind of came about. It came about, let's say, a few years ago, the first time I heard about it. Again, this is not something that I would say we would use in this country, in the UK. Maybe we do. I just haven't heard it myself. But certainly I've heard it from people in the United States. They use that kind of term. You're a motorcycle poser. You're not a real biker. You're just play acting. You're just a weekend warrior. You see, for us in the UK, I would say a motorcycle poser is what we would call a weekend warrior. You just do something at the weekend, which is fine in itself. Don't get me wrong. You can do whatever you want. If you want to, ride your bike at the weekend, because guess what? You're working hard all week. You haven't got time to ride it. You've got other things going on. So, just because you ride at the weekend, it doesn't necessarily make you any lesser of a biker for me. That's just for me. Other people have their own opinions. So I would say that's more of what I would say a weekend warrior is as a motorcycle poser. Not necessarily somebody who only rides at the weekend, but somebody who just doesn't have that same connection just to want to do it all the time. And they're just doing it just for appearance's sake, or just doing it because it's some kind of status symbol, or because it's become really fashionable in some circles to have a motorcycle, to be a motorcyclist, to be a biker, let's say, in inverted commas. And maybe that's where this kind of poser thing comes from, that you're just posing around. You're not being true to yourself. You're not being a true biker. And I think the first time I ever heard the motorcycle poser, I'm not sure if it was was it an Easy Rider? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below when they use the term poser. I know they've used it in a few other films since. But I think the word motorcycle poser was first an Easy Rider, but I'll have to check that. But please let us know in the comments below. And it's essentially that, isn't it? It's essentially that you're not being a true biker. You're not being a true whatever you want to be. You're just not being true to yourself. And look, you get that in all walks of life. Just because you're a motorcyclist and you're not being true to yourself, or true in what convention would say that you should be, then I'm not sure that necessarily makes you a poser either. It's just that you're doing your own thing, and it's not necessarily what others think that maybe you should be doing. But each to his own, right? Each person can do whatever they want to do. Just because you want to dress in pink and wear fluffy slippers when you're riding your bike, so be it. That's up to you, of course. But if you want to wear, full leather clad and, act as if you're on a racing track, that's entirely up to you. And if you just want to wear a cut-off t-shirt and oily jeans and a pair of workman's boots when you ride your bike, hey, so be it as well. For me, motorcycle posing it's got nothing to do with what you ride, and it's certainly got nothing to do with how often you ride or what you look like when you ride. Motorcycle posing is all about here, And it's all about in here. It's all about what you think about, and also what's right deep inside. Because if you've got that real connection with bikes, if you're anything like me, I'm always thinking about it. I'm always thinking about bikes. I'm always thinking about me riding bikes. That sensation of being on a bike. And not necessarily that I want to ride all the time, or that I just can't think of anything else, that I just want to be on a bike. But it's always with me. Even a couple of years, let's say, when I didn't have a bike or I wasn't riding as much, it was something that I'm always thinking about. That for me is somebody who is really connected with motorcycling. Now, you may not be that kind of person, but you may be the kind of person who's just getting bikes because it's a trinket, it's a toy, it's something that you've got on. You think, hey, I've got to get all the latest stuff, and just because, I'm going to ride around and match what my friends have got, or be better than somebody else. For me, that is not having a true connection with motorcycling. You're doing it for ulterior motives, I suppose is the right word. And that's where I think the posing comes in. That's where I think, you don't have that true connection. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As I say, for me, it doesn't matter what you ride or how you look or what you do on a bike. That's an individual thing. That's what you want to do. But for me, I think it's just that lack of connection, and the reasons why you're riding, and those kind of ulterior motives that some people may have. You're not having a genuine motorcycling experience, but you maybe not a genuine motorcycle rider, I suppose, is the way I would regard it. You could say that it's kind of a weekend warrior type deal, that you're not doing it all the time. But even that I would question, because I say, some people might be working all week, they're working, they got a truck, they're driving a lorry all week, whatever it is, they're working in an office away. That you're not going to be riding your bike, right? You're going to be doing some other stuff. You got to work, you got to feed your family, whatever you got to do. So I don't buy into that. I just think there's certain elements, and again, this is a word that I don't use. This is a word that I hear about, and I think, is there any truth to it? And for me, the truth is about connection. It's always about connection and ulterior motives. Are you doing it because that you really want to do it, or are you doing it for, it just looks good? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And with that, I'm going to do a bit more posing on my bike. Catch you again. Bye now.